Welcome everyone to Gamereactor Live. Today we'll be taking dog tags and blowing up tanks and airplanes in Battlefield 4 multiplayer. The game has been riddled with bugs and glitches, so now we'll be taking a look at the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One version of the game in multiplayer mode to see if everything is as it is supposed to be, as it should be now. With me is Philip.
Hey everyone.
We'll be taking your questions as we play, and we'll start by playing the PlayStation 4 version here. And we'll be taking your questions as we go. So, Philip, pick up the controller and let's see what we can do.
All right, so as mentioned, we're going to start out here on the PS4. Be sure to add us on the PSN, Gamereactor Live, if you want to join us for games. We're going to go right ahead here and start up a game of Conquest.
Yeah.
So check it out and see how it's going, because I believe this is also one of the types, the game types that have had the most issues.
Yes.
Because there are the most types of vehicles and everything.
Also the most popular game mode by far.
Oh yes, of course, the classic Battlefield.
The classic Battlefield mode.
Ooh, and we're lucky we get the cool map this time.
Yes, the Siege of Shanghai, which was used when the game was first revealed, the multiplayer component of it at E3, I believe. So it's going to be fun to see.
Let's see the building standing when we get in there.
Yeah. If you have any suggestions for other game modes for us to try, be sure to ask in the live chat room, and we'll see to it. It's both capture the flag, air superiority. We can do pretty much anything you like, but we'll start with the classics. So have you played much of the Battlefield 4 multiplayer?
I've played quite a bit, yes. I don't know, I think I'm about level 40 or so. I don't really know how high the level goes, but yeah, I'm in the 40s. Yeah.
So that's quite a lot, actually. So what's your favorite class?
My favorite class by far is the support class. I like having the big guns that don't run out of ammo. So I'm going to go right ahead. Of course, it's going to be a bit different for me because right now we're starting a new character. It's a level 1. Yeah. So let's just select support here, just use the basic loadout, and we're going to spawn ourselves a bit closer to the action
on C.
On C.
Where the extra ammo will come in handy. This is very close up.
Yeah.
So as you might remember, the big thing about the multiplayer was Levolution, which means that at some point this giant tower in the middle of Shanghai will fall to the ground, and with it the control point, which will then end up in the river below. Oh. All right.
Let's see that. This one has a bipod, which is good.
Oh, you have bipod from the get-go.
Yeah.
That's clever.
All right, but let's try not to be too much on the defense here, because that's not too interesting. Let's try and see if we can go on the offense a little bit.
Yeah. So across the river, I think point E is enemy controlled at this point. You could jump out.
Oh, this way. Yeah, okay, I'm getting turned around here.
Yeah.
Actually, we also have a couple around the other side. Actually, if I can survive... Oh man, they're all over up there. Get me out of here. I'm just going to do a quick thing. Yes. I'm going to go into team setup. Yes, I know all this. I'm going to leave this squad. I'm going to set up a... Oh, it won't allow me. Oh yeah, here we go. Create a squad. This way, toggle privacy. So this is a private squad. Yeah. So there you go. If you're interested in joining us, you should be able to join our squad right off the get-go. Yeah. And there's reserved spots for you in the squad. And
we're going to try both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and the name for both platforms is Gamereactor Live. So please do join us so we can win some games together and get some points. Hopefully we need the points because we are starting from scratch, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
And to answer your question, Buddy Sama, this is the PlayStation 4 version. We're only trying next-gen versions of the game. We'll not be doing the PS3 or the Xbox 360 version.
Yeah. So yeah, the reason why we're testing it out, again, for the viewers just joining us, it's more to see if there's been any changes since launch with all of the glitches that have been plaguing the game.
Yes.
And I don't know, have you had any experiences with any kind of glitches in your time playing the game? Actually,
no. I've been considered myself really lucky. I've had the traditional crash here and then, but nothing that seems to be characteristic for this game in particular. When the PlayStation 4 launched, and I had my console at launch, most games tended to crash every now and then. NAC froze my PlayStation 4 a couple of times, so it's nothing that I really noticed. But if you just look at the message boards of Battlefield 4, it's been riddled with glitches and bugs that are game-breaking in some cases, where people lose their progress, both in single-player and multiplayer.
Ooh.
So
yeah. Sorry, I just have a
you
tank
just spotted
right
it?
here next to me. Yeah, I like to spot everything that I come by because most of the time in a firefight I will go down, but at least I'll get some points for my teammate, take him out.
Yes. And we'll be helping our squad mates if they join us by spotting that. So there we go.
Another one. Tag that.
So you do get points if you spot something and then either the vehicle or the player is killed or destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I think it's about 25 points. It's not a huge amount, but
No.
it helps.
They have cut down on some of the points from Battlefield 4. For example, healing something with med packs, which kind of leveled players up a bit too quickly.
Yeah,
And the spotting itself is only worth 25 points now.
Oh, we got a Rambo player here. He's going for the tank.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Maybe I can distract the tank. Oh,
That's got to be C4.
oh, he's out of it now.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Did we
And
just
you got
get
the spot points. Very good.
No, is he going to grab it? Yeah, he grabbed the tank. Oh, well.
And KLM asks if this map is included in the standard version of the game. And yes, this is part of the vanilla software pack. The only other pack right now available to you is the China Rising, which I believe is a re-rendering of some of the old Battlefield maps.
Possibly. I'm not actually sure exactly
No.
what that map contains, or that pack contains. Yeah, and we will only be playing the vanilla version. So anybody who's got the game, you just need the basic Battlefield
Yes.
4 to play with us.
So it seems as if we're trailing behind a bit on points.
Yeah, we should start moving up. We got somebody who joined us here. Lost Prophets.
Hello, Lost Prophets.
All right.
So let's see if we continue up. And he's chosen the support class as well, I can see. Or is that, no, that's Assault.
Is he? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's Assault.
So you have some soldiers.
Oh, there's a lot
Maybe
of enemies
underground.
around here. Oh, that's friendly. Don't shoot them. Just gotta get used to having these little...
Oh, right.
ammo.
Yeah, you have the resupplying classic from other Battlefield games.
Yeah.
So it's your job to resupply the soldiers around you. Is there any other thing that is specific to the support class?
Well, as the name kind of suggests, it is basically about supporting the team, most of the gadgets that you get in the support class. So yeah, basically keeping them stocked with ammo is an important thing. I've got a guy over here. I'm going to throw him some ammo. And of course, that's going to give me some points as well.
Yes.
Also, I'm trying to remember what else he actually gets. I can actually do a quick run through of what you get as a support class once I get to the spawn menu here in a second.
So this is, of course, this seems to be for multiplayer first-person shooters. There seems to be two routes. Either you have the class-based system, or you have sort of everyone can do everything.
Yeah, or like kind of a perk-based system, like you know from Call of Duty.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. He's got these this airburst rifle, which will allow him to actually shoot enemies behind cover by having a little pellet explode above the cover and hurt them behind it.
Oh yeah.
It takes a bit of getting used to. He's got claymores, which I believe also the scout class has.
Yes.
Ammo box, which is the better version of the ammo pack that I have now. He's got a mortar, which is very effective.
Yeah.
He's got this MP APS, which took a little while to get used to also. It's a man-portable active protection system. Basically, it just it will blow up any kind of missile flying into its area of protection.
Oh, right.
So if you set that up inside a building where there's a tank shooting at you, you can actually block some of its shots. It takes a little moment to recharge before it can pop the next one.
Right.
For anybody who's played Call of Duty and are familiar with the trophy system, it's basically that.
Yeah.
But not for grenades. I thought it was at first, but it wasn't. It's not
It's
that
only
fun.
missiles.
Only any kind of missiles, rockets and shells.
But as far as I remember, even the tanks, the heavy shot of the tank also has a recharge timer. So maybe you can block off some of the shots.
But two tanks will easily be able to take it out. And then we got C4, which most of the classes also have.
Yes.
And a UCAV, which is an exclusive to the owners of the China Rising. So I have not had a chance to try this.
Yeah.
But it's a reconnaissance UAV, basically.
So if you do buy the China Rising map, when these maps run out of interest to you, it is not only maps you buy. it is also some gadgets
you
for
get
each
some
class.
more content, and I believe also the assault class, or maybe one of the others, has a similar little UAV
Yes.
that they can throw that has another feature.
Right. It seems like something that would be perfect for the recon class. We'll be trying out different classes. I've been dabbling most with the assault class, like basic healing and reviving, and like very basic assault rifles.
Whoops.
Maybe we'll do some recon as well, but that takes a lot of getting used to playing as a sniper and staying at long range.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to base just because I really want to see this building go down.
Oh, is it now?
Well, I want to see if I can take it down myself because it doesn't really seem. Or maybe this guy is actually working on it. I don't know. This guy in the tank.
Yeah, it seems to be. It's
Yeah,
both player-based when it falls, but it's also at some point in the map.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually.
It will always fall.
Okay. But yeah, basically the idea with the whole evolution here, especially in a map like this one, where there's one of the points is on
Yeah, it's very
the
tactical.
building. Basically, if the enemy team are holding that point very well, and you
Yeah.
really want to get rid of that point, you basically just destroy the building.
Yeah, mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
And also in one of the other maps, which have also been shown prior to the game's release, was a tropical map, I believe, where a sort of a tropical storm carries one of the helicarrier ships
Yes.
over the map, which sort of mixes up combat a little bit and makes the players have to think different tactically, which I think is really nice. So it's not just for show. You could say it's sometimes the Levolution things is very difficult to spot.
Yeah, I mean, every map has some kind of evolution, but some of them are more subtle than others. And,
Yes.
And most of them have a trick to them on how to activate them. I mean, it took a little while for me just when I got the game to actually figure it out, and I had to Google my way a bit to figure out that, oh, here we go. We got front row seats
All
right
right,
here.
yeah,
It's coming
there
down.
you go.
So let's see it here.
So you can see, yeah, on the top of the building is point C, and now point C is leveled to the ground along with the building.
Here we go, and here comes a nice little wave we can ride.
Yeah. Oh.
There's a little thing there with the waves. Sometimes you actually don't ride them, but they actually just go through you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit sad because it would be kind of cool to.
Yeah, because I remember one of the big points of at least the graphical update between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 was this wave engine or sea engine, which made movement on the oceans be more realistic. So it's sad to see that those glitches.
It's like, it looks
still
realistic, but it doesn't act realistically towards you. And even like in the big map that you mentioned, where you have this big storm going on, where there's a lot of waves in the water.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad to have that many waves, because actually a lot of the fighting happens in boats.
Yes.
And a lot of the time you'll just be inside a wave. Your missiles won't go through the water. And
so.
Oh, we got another player here, Timber Jim.
Ah, welcome. So that's room for one more player in the private squad, is that correct?
One or two more. Let me just check it out here. Yeah, we got two more spots in the squad. But otherwise, feel free to join us. You'll just get popped into another squad.
Yes. So for everyone just joining us, we are playing Battlefield 4 multiplayer. For 45 minutes more, we'll be playing it on PS4, and then we'll switch to Xbox One. Join us on Gamereactor Live on both platforms and play with us. And we're doing this to see if the game is still riddled with glitches and bugs, as it was was creating controversy a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
When DICE patched it yet again in order to make it work in a stable manner. So we haven't really encountered any game-breaking bugs just yet. Just one with the seed.
So far so good, yeah.
So far so good. And this is supposed to be the most popular game mode, the Conquest mode. So if there are any troubles left, we should be able to find them here in this game mode. So far we've had two people joining our private squad, and we're going to see if we can do some team-based action.
Yeah.
You just
so we're fighting hard to catch this AI. Oh, here we go. We got another Sci-Fi joining us.
Hello. And he picked the engineer, so we have 3 engineers, it seems, and you as a support.
On a personal note with the game, I will say I'm not too happy about the engineer class.
No.
I think it's a bit too overpowered in the way that one player versus a tank I think the missiles are a bit too strong. A player can easily pop around the corner, shoot a missile, and hide.
Yeah.
Where a tank doesn't really stand a chance, especially in these urban environments. Whereas, you know, in real world, a tank should be kind of an undertaking.
Should be, yes.
Yeah. So it seems like a lot of people play engineer.
Only for that reason.
Yeah, because they're pretty much, they can kill soldiers, they can kill vehicles, no problem.
Yeah, and even as you mentioned, these urban environments are really good for the small SMG rifles that the engineers carry. So when you pop around a corner and it's twitchy and reaction based, their weapons will usually deal the most damage close up front.
Yeah.
Which makes the engineer sort of a difficult class because it's a bit too overpowered in most situations, as you say.
Oh, let's see here. It seemed for a second, I don't know if you noticed, but the camera shook a bit.
Huh.
And that's another thing I've noticed playing it at home, that I'm getting with the PS4 version at least, is that when I'm in aerial vehicles, sometimes I'll get this kind of camera shake as if I'm getting hit or knocking onto, like, into things.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll be mid-air. In the helicopters, it's not so bad, but in the jets, it's definitely bad. And sometimes when in the jet, especially when you have a machine gun in the jet, and it's all about kind of shooting accurately, your head kind of shaking all over the place gets kind of distracting.
But do you think that this is a bug or a glitch, or it's more something they are trying to do for realism?
It doesn't feel like it's something they're trying to do on purpose, because it happens so randomly and in a way that really, like, the camera doesn't seem to be supposed to be doing it.
No.
Also, another thing I've tried it with ground vehicles. That's not so much in the urban maps as it is in the
open ones.
More open ones in fields and such, is that the kind of wheels on the vehicle tend to kind of go through the ground a bit. So sometimes you'll find your vehicle kind of bouncing jiggles, a lot just as you start driving them, which also makes them very hard to steer. Yeah.
Well, I think it's supposed to be sort of this pick up the controller and play, even if... oh, you got him. That's good.
At least I got him.
Yeah. There's supposed to be this pick up and play type of multiplayer experience where you can just, you know, the vehicle movement is very similar and easy to wrap your head around. So it's sort of difficult to accept these little jitters when you go from being a foot soldier to being in a vehicle. Then it's so difficult. And there's been also, at least a problem I have, which luckily hasn't occurred yet, is that there is on the new consoles, it's to hide some choppy frame rates. Oh shit.
Oh no.
You got him. Not.
No. Somebody else got him.
Oh well. You tried to do something cool.
Yeah.
I said in the intro we were supposed to snap dog tags, and we haven't done that yet, but we'll see.
Alright, but yeah, we got
squads.
Lost Profiteer, he got us back up on our feet.
Yeah.
That's another thing that some more casual players might not be familiar with Battlefield 4. It's this whole kind of like how Call of Duty has perks. Yeah. This game kind of has this support system as well. If you pay attention in the bottom left corner next to the map, there's this little bar that fills up.
Yeah, the squad meter.
Yeah, the squad meter, exactly. And that fills up by doing squad actions, by helping out your squad and kind of following orders. And basically that will keep filling up when you do these things, and it will give you more and more. So I think the basic one I have now is I have more armor on my torso, a Kevlar vest basically. Next one, it will reduce my, how the effect of, no actually I will do more support kind of disruption to the enemy when I shoot near them, which Battlefield players might be familiar with, where I don't actually have to hit them to annoy them.
Yeah, you're doing, I can't remember what it's called, but it's this sort of thing.
Suppression.
Yeah, suppression. I think it's very important, this squad-based meter which they've added in this game, because they're trying to differentiate themselves from Call of Duty, the major competitor in this type of genre, and where Call of Duty tries to emphasize the individuality of each soldier. This is becoming more and more about team-based play.
Yes, definitely. That Battlefield is very much going in the direction of this is, exactly, a team-based game. You need a team, you need a squad. Follow your squad orders, you will get the cooler perks, passive abilities, kind of.
And of the single-player edition of the commander mode is also present in the multiplayer, where one of the players on your team is a commander. Yeah. And he will choose, for example, right now, point B has been chosen as a point of interest by the commander. And so... tactically.
And still, the commander doesn't have the final say there. No. It's still, the commander gives orders to the squad leaders. The squad leaders can choose to accept these orders and pass them on to their squad mates.
Yeah.
And again, but if everybody follows these orders and kind of trusts the commander to know what's going on, where to move, where's it smart to be, where's it a bad idea to be, then usually you'll see those kind of teams that work like that win. We do have a commander here called Planer or Planner 87.
Yeah.
And his name is in blue right now. It's the name in the bar above the squad list. And this means he's not paying attention to us. If he's got us marked for doing anything, then it will actually turn green.
Yeah.
And he can voice chat with us, or at least with me if he wants to.
Yeah, as a squad leader. Yeah.
And we can check here. Yeah, so I can actually ask him here to give me an order. And we'll see if he'll give it to me. It will be in his best interest to do so because... Oh, there's more of them.
Yeah, there's more of them.
But yeah, the commander earns points also if the squad leaders accept orders and if they follow orders. And then he'll be able to support the team by making them spawn faster or missile strikes.
Yeah. So really, a good commander can easily almost win a game for you if the orders are tactically sound and the squads choose to follow them. There's more points in it for all players on the team, and you'll have a more sort of a better sense of which points to take. Because other than if you don't do that, then it can be a really fragmented and individual experience.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, it's good to see that they're sort of embracing the things that they can do differently than their competitors, which is, you know, Call of Duty.
It's important because, I mean, there are so many FPS games on the market now that they really do need. All right, sorry about that, but I've got a pilot here who's not flying anywhere, which is
really annoying.
Yeah. See, this happens in Battlefield. That you'll have this one guy. He's got this chopper now, and this chopper's not going to move unless he says so.
Yeah. Which kind of goes with something that the Branko P85 is saying in the chat, that the reason that a lot of players, I think, that enjoy the single-player content stays away from multiplayer is because of that you have to sort of trust your fellow team members, despite them not always being around and not doing what you want them to do. Yeah,
and I mean it's hard in multiplayer games sometimes to have complete strangers kind of work with each other.
Yeah,
I'm actually surprised at how hard it is. I've played MAG on the PS3.
Oh yeah, MAG.
Which was very much a team-based game, and again, everything would fall apart if people didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Dust 514, we talked about off camera earlier. I played that again, another example of a game that really relies on teamwork.
On teamwork, yeah.
And I'm just baffled by how many people do not understand this concept.
Yeah.
That some people almost actually get angry when you kind of just tell them over a headset.
Emphasize team play.
Hey guys, let's go take this point, and instantly you get this. You're not the boss of me. I'll do what I want, and I'll actually do the exact opposite just to spite you because,
It's sad, at least because they have, at least in the case of Dust 514, they have downloaded this huge game client in order to play an obvious team-based game. Yeah. And then they're consecutively ruining it for everyone on your team.
Including themselves. I mean, they're not winning any games because of it.
Yeah. And what's cool, at least about Battlefield 4, is you have this the single-player campaign and you have this multiplayer component, and if you do not play as a team, then you won't win, because players are just too good.
Yeah. I mean, definitely once you start getting into games with some actual clans and stuff like that, then
so
then you'll actually see some teamwork that can just
there is the Battlefield, the Battlelog, Battlefield.net experience where you have this sort of clan-based system, which of course you can expect from a big multiplayer shooter, but it does at least emphasize getting to know your teammates and having a sound strategy before you begin a game.
Yeah.
And if you're in a clan, you have to listen to your commander, otherwise I think you get booted pretty quick.
Another thing I find is pretty interesting about Battlefield 4, which it has done, which many other games, next-gen games are starting to take make use of, is the whole idea of the second screen. The fact that you can actually be a part of a Battlefield 4 game as a commander on the go. If you have an iPad or a smartphone or a tablet or anything, you can actually download this this app, and you can play as the commander on the bus, wherever.
Dropping missiles, spawning vehicles, all these things. And
even with the PS4 and the Xbox One version, you can even voice chat from your tablet or your phone with the team. Actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke before. I said tablet and phone, it's only tablet. But still, tablets are pretty much...
It does require sort of, you have to overlook a lot of action at the same time, so having the bigger screen on the tablet is perhaps the better way to go.
I think, yeah, on the phones it would probably be a bit too small of a screen to work with.
Yeah.
Because again, you'll get a screen resembling this one here, where you can zoom in and out, but still, yeah, there's small dots moving around. Sometimes it can even be tough on a tablet or even in game to keep up with what's going on.
And it is, you know, we're seeing a lot of this second screen functionality, which of course last gen, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 era, was a bit of a tagged on sort of thing that developers love to say, the second screen functionality. But with Watch Dogs and The Division and Battlefield 4, we're seeing sort of it becoming a more integrated service into the game. Yeah. Which is nice. I mean, and it also puts emphasis on teamwork, I think, at least in Battlefield 4 sense. Okay, and it is true what Branko again is saying, that if you don't want to play a team-based multiplayer shooter, why go through the difficulty of buying the game for a lot of money and putting it in and creating a user and creating your loadout only to ruin the experience for others?
Yeah, but it's strange, but again, I mean...
At least the thing we saw with the guy that didn't want to move the chopper, I think, is a rare thing, at least from my perspective, because Battlefield has emphasized team play for such a long time now, since the first Bad Company. Yeah. Which is, I believe, is 2008 or 9. So, players seem to understand the name of the game now, which is really nice. Oh, there you go. I think there's another. Yeah, there. Oh.
Went down. But yeah, also I think maybe we're overestimating the average gamer. I think a lot of people that play these games nowadays, especially with the new consoles launching and such, might not be kind of the normal what you and I and most of our viewers would see as a gamer. We'll have the dad who's just playing a quick game before the rest of the family get home and such. And they're not necessarily too into the whole team play. They just want to sit down and play a game
and relax, right?
And they heard some good things about Battlefield, and I mean, they might remember it from when they were younger and played it where it wasn't so team-based. Yeah. And again, the whole idea of them getting angry with you, trying to give them orders. Maybe they just had a bad day at work, and the boss was yelling at them, telling them to do stuff, and they don't want to be told what to do when they get home from work. You never know. But
that's always the fear and the risk you're taking when you're moving into that mainstream territory, which Battlefield and Call of Duty has. I mean, they are the two giants in the multiplayer shooter space. So there, both fortunately and regrettably, is a lot of players that don't want to understand the game's systems, just want to sit down and have a quick, good time before they have to eat dinner or something. But I think you can excuse that in Call of Duty, because it, like I said, it emphasizes individual play, whereas this is so team-based. And I mean, you won't. Oh,
here we go. Look at this guy.
Come on, dog tags.
There we go. Collected some dog tags.
We've made good on our promise. Everything is good.
And
so, do you regret that, or are you sad that there's no co-op mode for this one? Because that is a quite controversial move that they cut it from the since they released Battlefield 3.
Having never actually played it in Battlefield 3, I'm not actually missing it.
Oh, right.
So
it was quite good, actually. Yeah. I mean,
I'm just going to say now, it's about time we switched. So perfect timing. Yeah.
And I'm going to do what I'm always doing when I'm playing a Battlefield multiplayer game. I'm going to go Assault. But we did get promoted, which was nice. I'm not sure I can do it. I'm not sure I'm as sound as you, because that is actually a quite high score, almost 7,000.
Well, again, it helps to play a support class.
It does. You don't run out of ammo easily, and that's usually what kills an assault class, or an engineer, for that, if there's anything that can kill an engineer. Yep. So, as you can see, what the class-based system, its back is, you have this sort of very separated leveling up system. You have your overall rank, but as Battlefields of old, you level up your class individually, which means you won't get a better sniper rifle by playing the assault class. You have to sort of start from scratch every time, which I think is frustrating to some, but it gives the game more, it makes it longer.
Exactly, it makes it last longer. And again, like I played support for the first long while I was playing the game.
Yeah.
Unlocked everything, and I started getting a bit bored with it.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool to say, all right, I'm going to try something completely different. I'm going to go recon.
Yeah, I did
and again, the classes are so open that most of them can, like, you can have a recon character with a shotgun if you want.
Yeah.
So recon does not mean sniper necessarily. It just means a person who supports their team through intel, basically helps spot enemies and tag tanks and such.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun suddenly playing a completely different style where I was using this little drone to fly around, just kind of tag enemies around the battlefield.
Which it makes it, I mean, it makes it a lot nicer to sort of start fresh, even though that it may seem a bit frustrating at first because you don't get as many kills, you don't get as many points when you play. But it sort of changes things up a bit. And it is like playing support and playing assault, even though you still have a heavy rifle in your hands. It really is a different experience.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna get off here. So you can see there is some water physics present.
The water looks gorgeous.
It does.
It just unfortunately doesn't act too realistically.
Yeah, and it's also always a shame when they emphasize it. Publicly.
When they do the whole look at this, but don't look at it too hard, because as soon as you touch it, it'll break.
Yeah, it will. Which is sad. I mean, because you want, I think water is sort of a benchmark graphical point for players. And does the water look better than the last version?
Yeah.
And it does, but not much more than that.
I'll also say I played this game on the PS3 first.
Oh, right.
And this is miles ahead of the PS3 version.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with the PS3 version. I would even say it looked worse than the Battlefield 3 on the PS3.
Because it was created for next-gen consoles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It had so much more, but textures look worse. And the same goes for Call of Duty, actually.
Yeah.
Both of those games, but Battlefield especially felt like very much like a light version of.
Oh, right.
Again, also because the maps were smaller. Didn't have as many points, not as big an area you could move into.
Yeah.
Not as many players on the map. So yeah, definitely, if you're considering buying it, I would, and if you're considering getting a next-gen console, don't have one yet, wait until you have the next-gen, because the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions are just not.
They're not where they need to be, at least.
No.
And they're not in a state where they're pretty enough. And I don't know about our fans, but I would not like to have an experience which I know from the get-go has been watered down.
No. And I mean, the reason why I got them for the PS3, although I was certain I was getting a PS4, was the whole deal that they had where you could upgrade your game from PS3 to PS4 for a small amount of money, which worked pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah?
I mean, I have Battlefield 4 as a digital download on PS3. No problems there. Went straight to the store and already had the option to purchase this upgrade.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it was easy enough. But with Call of Duty, which I had on disc, it was a bit more tricky. I had to actually, and it's still kind of broken. It still tells me I need to buy the game to play it.
Oh, that's annoying.
In this, but once I push play, it'll work fine. But the way it works there is that my PS3 disc has to be in my PS4 for it to run the game, even though it's all downloaded.
Ah, right.
So it's a way, it's fair enough. I mean, it's a way for them to make sure I still own the game, that I haven't just given it to a friend, and now I have two versions for the price of, I don't know, almost one.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's fair enough, but still, I mean, seeing as the PS4 is so all about being digital and stuff, it's kind of annoying to have to, oh, yeah, okay, it sounds kind of like a
no, but it is
problem,
annoying.
But I mean, getting out of my seat.
It was a huge point of emphasis that they did these upgrade systems, right? And it's just annoying when it doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, it took a while. I had some problems with Assassin's Creed 4, actually, also, which wouldn't work. I typed in my code, but it still wouldn't come up, and I actually had to contact Sony directly before I got help. So it's not flawless, the system, but when it does work, like it did for me with Battlefield 4, it's great. And I can definitely see good reason for it. I mean, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are still going strong. So you shouldn't be kind of scared off of buying certain games.
No.
Except Battlefield 4, because it's not worth it.
Well, so far, what we're doing here, if you've just tuned in, we're playing Battlefield 4 on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to see if the many bugs and glitches have been fixed or if it's in a playable state. And so far, it seems to run quite smoothly. I mean, but small annoying bugs and glitches aside, there's nothing game-breaking so far, at least.
To the players, I can tell we're getting some friend requests. Maybe you can just add those next time you go down.
Yeah.
But also to the players sending us messages via PSN, please join us on our live chat, because we won't be able to go in and read every message that we receive. So we're just going to once in a while pop in and accept friend requests.
Yeah, we're just going to accept those that we've already got, and we'll see. Just the ones that we have.
Just to give you guys a chance to play with us.
Yes. So we have about 20 minutes left of PlayStation 4 play, and we'll be switching to the Xbox One version.
Which will be interesting, because that will be a first for both of us. None of us actually played the Xbox One version.
No.
So.
Which will, I guess, will be very interesting, because I've never, I don't know about you, but I've never touched an Xbox 360 controller either.
Me neither.
So we're a bit new to this.
Yeah,
we're both PlayStation.
Two PlayStation guys playing Xbox One. That should have been the title of the stream.
Yeah, that should have been the title of the stream. And we just got booted out here of the internet. So I don't know.
I think go ahead and try again. You should.
We're gonna.
I think you just got a server disconnect there. So also to any of the
the
viewers that want to join us, just be aware we got kicked and we're gonna join another game.
Out. But it seems that we are back online. So rejoin us. We'll be going for the conquest again. And we jumped right into a server.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was us or the instability of the servers.
It might have been. It
seems that when it's the game's fault or the server's fault, it boots you completely out of the game, not just to the main menu. It crashes.
Yeah.
At least.
But the game will sometimes boot you from a server if you're doing too much in the menus or kind of.
Oh right, yeah.
But. Or if you suspend the game, which it will do sometimes if you try and run Netflix or other apps. Yeah. But this here seemed more like, I don't know, a glitch that you got booted from the game. Because you weren't out of the game for long enough for you to go idle.
No, and I didn't suspend the app.
And you didn't suspend the app, so... I mean, I've added friends during gameplay, no problem.
Yeah. And you should be able to. I mean, it was not like a preposterous thing we did, or to add friends while we're playing, but... and we didn't... I think mostly you do shut down any network connections to the game when you suspend it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you need to...
No Netflix while playing Battlefield 4, sadly. I don't know if actually you can do that in Xbox One. If you know, so when you divide the screen.
I don't know.
We'll be... I guess we'll be testing that.
Maybe some of our viewers can tell us, but I think it should be possible. I mean, isn't that their whole deal? That you can do a kind of split screen play and...
I mean, I'm not an Xbox guy. I'm gonna keep my hopes up at least. So this is the same map, the Langcam Dam. Okay. I think you don't have to be.
You should go in and set up a squad again, a private squad if it isn't already. So it's team setup and
creates the squad.
Yeah, so triangle.
Charlie.
And just how is it again? How is it you make it private again? I should try and leave this squad. Oh.
I'm gonna...
just leave the squad you're in.
Yeah?
And press triangle to create a squad. And then toggle privacy square.
Oh, right.
There you go. Oh, there's already somebody who joined us.
I'm gonna leave it, join a new squad, create the squad, toggle privacy.
There you go, private squad.
There we go.
Now we're back.
So join us and we'll be ready. I'm going for point B, if there is.
We're getting insurances from Branco P85 here. It says the 360 controllers are perfect for FPS. And I take it you also mean the Xbox One, basically, because...
It is the same basic layout, at least.
With improvements, so it can all be better.
Yeah, with subtle differences, yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
If we don't hold it upside down.
Yeah, well, we might try that. I think the biggest difference that a PlayStation gamer would have difficulties with the Xbox 360 controller is by far the sticks are laid out differently.
Yeah.
Sort of not aligned. which is supposed to make it a lot better for FPSs, but I don't know. I haven't had too much experience with it. So we're gonna try, and I'm not sure whether this actually takes HP from a tank.
I think it does take a little bit, and that wasn't a tank, wasn't it? Just a... Yeah, it does take a bit, but it's just a light attack vehicle.
Ooh.
It's definitely going to hurt you more than you're going to hurt it.
Yeah.
And you just made it angry.
Yeah, so. Yeah. That's a problem you can run into, but he's not going to get me. I'm going to run. And there's another tank firing at me. Yeah, take that.
All right, Branko's telling us that it's because he has bigger hands that the Xbox controller is better than the PS. Let me see. Than the PlayStation controller. Well, I will tell you, Branko, that the new PlayStation 4 controller is considerably larger.
Considerably larger than the DualShock 3.
Yeah. So the whole big small hands argument, I think, is no longer quite valid with this gen.
No.
I think this is basically down to more of a preference now. And
yes.
And what people are used to.
The buttons feel better as well on the DualShock 4, and I don't think, you know, the entire argument there was last gen was that, oh, you know, the Xbox 360 controller is so superior to the DualShock 3. I don't think that quite holds up anymore, at least in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
So it's sort of whether you like the sticks better, or I think he tried to run away, which he will not. There we go.
There you go.
Could have. So we got a call from the commander.
All right, so you should hold in R1 here, and this accept order with the stick. There you go.
Yeah.
Because then you send it out to the rest of the squad, which is empty right now. We're still waiting for some of you guys to join us.
Yeah.
But it will also give the commander some points, so he knows now he can trust you. He's going to keep giving you orders. He's going to probably support you a bit more.
So you should always, if you have a commander that sort of is focused on getting the team-based work done, you should always at least attempt to either accept or deny the order.
Yeah, a lot of people overlook the fact that you have to accept or deny it.
Yeah.
So it will still show up on your map as an order point, and people think, okay, cool, that's it.
Yeah.
But you have to accept it before it actually counts towards the commander's score, so that he can support you further.
Yeah.
Because the commander does have a lot of nice little tricks up his sleeve. He can also, the squad bar that we saw earlier, which is missing now because we're alone in the squad, he can even fill that up a bit.
Oh, right.
For the entire squad. So if you do well, he'll give you some perks. He can throw down ammunition packs, vehicles. He can scan areas for you.
Yeah, and mark enemies.
Mark enemies, yeah.
Yeah. Which is neat, but you sort of have to help the commander help you.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
I mean, I played commander for a little while. I was out on vacation and I was just playing on my iPad.
Yeah.
And when I got back, I had a bunch of messages on my PSN from this one guy who was really angry that I wouldn't drop a vehicle for him. The problem was the vehicle drop is the most expensive thing you can do, and this guy was not following any of the orders I was giving him. So
he just wanted a vehicle.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. So I could not afford the vehicle because he wouldn't do anything. I told him he wouldn't even accept the orders. So how was I supposed to help him? So, but a lot of people don't realize this because a lot of people kind of skip the entire commander part of the game, which you can do, no problem. But just as long as you're aware that the commander also needs your help as much as you need his.
Yeah, and it is a very large part of the thing that makes this game different from Battlefield 3's multiplayer, is the commander mode. So you should at least try to pay some attention to it.
Let's take a look here.
Bodhisattva,
yes, we're still playing on the PS4. We're going to be doing that until, well, for another 15 minutes before we switch over to the Xbox One version. So if you're sitting there with your Xbox One ready to join us, just give us, 15 minutes.
The one you imported from Germany. So we are playing at the Xbox One, despite the fact that it's still not available.
Yeah, in Scandinavia.
In Scandinavia,
yeah.
Which they kind of cut out. I guess they couldn't keep up with the stock.
Yeah.
But it is a...
I mean, they made a choice, I guess. If they didn't have enough stock, they had to kind of look at where's our biggest market.
Here we go.
And my definite impression as well is in Scandinavia, the PlayStation is more of the go-to brand for most gamers.
It has been since the PlayStation 1, I think.
Yeah.
That most of Northern Europe prefer. Oh, we have a Jeep incoming there. Oh.
Oh, Buddy Sam says, mentions that he wants to play with us, but he's on the PS3. Well, I'm afraid these days with the new consoles launching, there's definitely going to be a lot more focus on these new machines rather than the previous gen. So yeah, sorry about that, but
we do tend at least to focus more on next gen versions.
Yeah.
And sadly, they haven't made it so you last gen and this gen versions of multiplayer games can play together. It's actually a rare phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean DC Universe Online has it.
Yeah.
But that's more of an MMO, which is way more server based. So that works, but I don't know if there's any other games that does it.
Actually, there's far between them.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that Sony Online has promised that PlanetSide 2 players will be able, PS4 and PC players will be able to play together.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but for example,
because I've been checking out, there's a lot of people for and against that.
Yeah, it's just because it's two different types of input that one of them would have the upper hand.
Yeah.
For example, you could, I think, be led to believe that the first-person shooters is more accurate on the PC platform rather than with a controller, so that way some players would miss out. I don't know if that is the case. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think it's going to be very difficult to kind of keep up with a keyboard and mouse when it comes to the aiming side of things with first-person shooters. So I think that's where it might not work. But I mean, again, consoles have another advantage, which isn't huge in an FPS game, but we have an analog stick to control the movement as well. On a PC, you usually have 2 movement speeds. On a console, you can move way more smoothly to the sides and everything. Again, not that it means a lot to a first-person shooter, but other types of games also definitely have.
Indeed. At least I've heard that platformers is way easier with a controller input, and a lot of PC players we've seen are perhaps using the Steam controller when that comes out, or hooking up Xbox 360 controllers in order to control more fluidly, or which is nice. But at least in Battlefield 4's case, you have a lot of separate servers. 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC are all separate.
But yeah, I overheard a fun argument among some friends about Grand Theft Auto 5 and about the fact that it's not out on PC.
Oh, right.
And a guy came up with the argument, why is it not on PC? You can't play Grand Theft Auto on a console. You can't shoot properly on a console. But another guy came up with the argument, well, that depends on how you see Grand Theft Auto 5. Is it a shooting game, or is it a driving game? Or is it a third-person action game? Yeah. Because on the third-person action game and the driving side, a controller is definitely better. Most would say, at least. Most would say, yes.
But I've always considered third-person movement to be more accurate with a controller.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of third-person action games are console exclusives. Something like, you know, Uncharted and Gears of War, all these things.
Yeah.
Console exclusives. Whereas first-person sort of had its home on PC via Counter-Strike mainly for many years before migrating to consoles. So it's very difficult to tell. I have actually never tried a. I think at least for a extended period of time, a first-person shooter on PC. So I don't know.
Oh really? Okay.
Maybe some Counter-Strike Source when I was younger, but I got my ass kicked in Counter-Strike Source, sadly. So, and this is, I think, at least seems a bit more friendly. And you see there, that's the field upgrade score we lost. When the last, you get a big message on your screen saying if you're the last man alive in your squad, then you'd have to stay alive until the rest of your squad mates spawn again, because if everyone dies, you lose
if the entire squad goes down, it resets that little bar down, then you have to work it up again. So
by doing squad-based actions, as we've mentioned before.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're an organized team, you're definitely gonna want one guy who always stays alive. Yeah. Maybe a recon guy sits a bit back and tags. And for those of you just tuning in, we're playing Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4 for a little while still, to check out if there's any improvement to some of the glitches and problems that the game's been having at launch. so far, so good. We're not experiencing a huge amount of problems. I mean, you had one disconnect before.
One disconnect, but
and we're not sure if that was us or the game.
No.
Also, join us in the game if you want. If you're quick, another 10 minutes to go.
Gamereactor Live on both platforms. We'll be switching to Xbox One, but it's the same name. So please do join us and collect some dog tags and get the field upgrade score up with us. Right now, we're in a helicopter with MadCat77, who just joined us in the private squad. So we're trying to do some conquest control here, maybe getting point B, point Bravo. And I'm gonna dismount here, I think. Let's see if there is some...
Again, coming back to the whole Levolution and everything.
Yeah.
Besides the Levolution, just the basic destruction in this game is pretty impressive also.
It does.
I mean, it works really well.
It is. I mean, one of the big issues people have with Battlefield 3 was that they actually dialed back on the destruction of the environments, because with the graphical overhaul, the consoles just couldn't take it, actually. So they had to... I never even saw much destruction in Battlefield 3, full stop. Just wasn't a lot of it.
No. But also, again, I played on PS3, and once that building went down in Shanghai, in the Shanghai map, during that time for it to go down, it was lag hell. Yeah. Pretty much.
So there is this, at least maybe you can recognize some of this from Battlefield Bad Company 2, the game which was prior to, oh, we got each other. Which was prior to Battlefield 3, which really emphasized destruction, that you could, with huge maps where you could level buildings to the ground. And this is back now. Everything is destructible, almost, and you can sink buildings if you want to.
Yeah.
Which I think is not just, graphical, it's not just skin deep. It's very much tactical to create cover and destroy cover at the same time. So we're here with our squad mates here. Cypher and MadCats is back after we disconnected, and we're gonna we have an assault, an engineer, 2 assaults and an engineer, so we should be able to accomplish some stuff. Oh,
so let the engineer shoot that tank, keep him alive as the... And again, maybe next time, if you should be so unlucky to die again, just give a quick overview of the different gadgets that an assault player gets.
So there's, if I remember correctly, 4 different classes still in the game, and we'll be able to show you. So here we go. So before I spawn.
The death cam is a little longer than I might like it, but still it also adds a bit of punishment to the fact that you die.
It does, yeah.
And you really want to get back into it.
Yeah, you really want to. So the assault class, here. For the different, for primary weapons, the assault class is very much, the basic start-off class, which is why it's the first that it selects for you. You have your primary assault rifles, which can be upgraded with some long-range scopes and some short laser-based scopes. With the gadgets that separates them is that it is a fusion of what was once called the medic, which very much in the name is supposed to heal members of your party and others. So I'm starting with this first aid pack and my trusted grenade launcher, which sticks to my rifle. Most of these you can get in other classes, which is a shotgun cartridge or a flashbang grenade or some timed grenades and darts that you can use to either gain the upper hand in the battle against the tank or against other players. Yeah. Smoke grenades, that kind of stuff. But really the thing that sets it apart is the first aid pack, which is, I have the unupgraded one, which is single use. You throw it to one soldier and it heals him to full. And then you have the defibrillator, which we haven't unlocked yet, but we will, where you can revive a fallen player. You gain more if you have them in your squad. Yeah. In the same sense as we saw with the support earlier, you can upgrade this first aid pack to the medic bag. The same thing you do with the ammo. Okay. Where the medic bag will stay there, as we know from Battlefield 3, and slowly heal passing players. So throwing this...
Yeah, so throw it down when
yeah.
the action's happening and people in the area will get healed.
Yeah, the first aid pack is actually not worth that much because it gets consumed by one player. So if there are many players in a bottleneck and a lot of explosions are happening, you can't throw them quickly enough. But with the medic bag, if there's 3 of these right where the action is...
Yeah. Then you got a constant source
of healing when you want to step away from the battle and recharge your health.
Yeah.
So apart from this...
Also maybe check out the field upgrades, because they also kind of vary from class to class.
They do. So right now we're going with the defensive one, which is armor, cover, and flak, and you regen your health quick, which is very much in the name that it fits you if you have a defensive playstyle. You lay from cover, take down your enemies. Offensive, sprint, grenades, all these things are more for maybe for the squad that needs to quickly get into enemy territory and retake some of the points.
Yeah, sure.
So what's really...
and then also defensive and offensive are the same for every class as far as each class have those.
And I think Shadow as
Shadow's
well.
Also the first 3 are kind of common to all the classes, but then here we go. Here's the specific...
This is very specific for the Assault class, which is, again, emphasizes the healing or the medic aspect of the class, which you upgrade your med bag, so you can deploy more at a time.
So you can have 2 at a time, kind of.
And you upgrade your defibrillator, which increases the charge. As you might know, if you use a defibrillator, you have to rub them against each other in order to build electricity. This decreases that time with 100%, so you can quickly get into battle and revive your fallen comrades. And again, the medical unit, which is a really cool upgrade. I haven't gotten to it, but it sounds really nice. That if you occupy a vehicle, you will heal soldiers in the vehicle and close to the vehicle.
So you're basically a rolling medic bag.
Yeah, you become a medic bag yourself, which sounds weird.
The support class has the same thing, just with ammo. Basically.
Oh, so it restocks your ammo if you're close to it.
So you're a rolling ammo pack, pretty much.
But it's tough
to get to, because again, each one of those things you need to kind of unlock one by one. You always start at the left and you move towards the right, and that's one of the final ones.
Yeah, very important to keep your squad alive at all costs. Otherwise, you'll never get to even level 2 of the field upgrades, which is a shame. But you really need to. Oh,
you just received an order there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna accept the order.
Boom. And he wants you to defend this point here, so he might actually see more than you're seeing right now. He might be able to see some enemies moving in, and he wants you to kind of make sure.
So what we're going to do is we're going to play some like a team, and we're going to just quickly check the area. He hasn't marked any enemies yet, but I think that also costs resources. So perhaps you have some...
Actually, what's it called? What he can call in is a UAV, which will do kind of a circular area scan.
Oh, yeah.
And he can call those in pretty much constantly. Once one runs out, the next one's ready to deploy.
Oh, right.
Except the enemy commander can also deploy a drone which scrambles that area, a similar area. And the 2 commanders can see each other's drones, so they have their own little game going of cat and mouse of who's scanning and who's blocking the scan, and the scan blocker takes longer to recharge.
So there is actually sort of this mini game going on.
Yeah, they're doing their own little fighting of trying to help out their team and hiding their own team from the enemy.
That's actually really nice. So we gotta. So we just helped Saifir take down this tank. He quickly.
We're being asked here what the best all-round class is in Battlefield 4 here from Branko P85.
I think, personally, it's a combination of the support and the assault. Those are very much like basic classes where you get a big gun in your hand and you can quickly do some damage and help your squad. Yeah. I personally prefer having the ability to defibrillate fallen comrades, so I prefer the assault class.
Sure.
Just because it's a quick way also to get to play team-based and defensively, and also get a lot of points. You get a lot of points by reviving squad mates and dealing out these med bags when you get them.
All right.
So, but you prefer support?
I
get
prefer
the
playing support, but if I would have to put my finger on a all-around class, I would probably pretty much say the engineer is a pretty good one, because all-around, if you see it in the way that he's good versus infantry and also versus vehicles, like he can take down air, sea, land vehicles. He can take down other soldiers. So an effective engineer is quite dangerous on the battlefield.
Yeah. So I think we just got called.
All right, so we're starting to come up here on time with the PS4.
All right.
So we're going to switch over to the Xbox One in a little second here.
Time for Xbox One. So.
Oh, what's this on the wall?
Thank you for the players who joined us on the PS4 version of the game. Unless you have both consoles ready, we probably won't see you on the other side. But thank you, Cypher, Mad Cats, and for helping us through on the battlefield. And we just got killed by a falling building.
Oh.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
We can
well, yeah, I'm not going to get far without a controller.
So it's time to get a new controller. A controller we haven't had much experience with either of us.
I'm going to hand you this, and I'm going to go down and grab this controller here, which has been charging. There we go. All right, we're being asked to reconnect the controller, which should be pretty easy.
So we only need to switch, and we're back on the Xbox One side of things. Okay. So if you're just tuning in, we are playing Battlefield 4 multiplayer on PS4. We've been doing that for an hour, and now it's time for the Xbox One version of the game. We are Gamereactor Live on Xbox Live, so please do join us. We'll be making a private squad where you can join us and help see if the game is still riddled with bugs and glitches, as we heard a month or so ago that DICE was trying to fix the game because it had a lot of bugs and glitches in both multiplayer and single player. So we are now ready to...
Yeah, I'm just kind of messing around here with the menu just to make sure that if we can accept any friend requests, notifications. Nah, looks like we're...
So we have,
we have no no requests here. All right, so go ahead and send us one if you're one of the lucky few that has an Xbox One.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're just going to go right ahead and jump into another Conquest game. Yeah. Hopefully a new map that we haven't seen yet.
Hopefully a new map.
Let's see. What's it going to be?
I do hope it's not the Shanghai map. It is Flood Zone.
Which is interesting because it's a very different kind of map.
Very different kind of map. Very urban, and most of the fighting is on the rooftops of like this urban area. And the Levolution part, I think we can explain quickly, is very much in the name. At some point in the map, the entire bottom of the map will be flooded with water, so which kind of presses players to fight on the rooftops instead of in the buildings or on the ground.
Exactly. In the beginning of the game, there'll be vehicles on the ground driving around, fighting, and if we do get flooded, I believe this one might not be timed because I have experienced games, but that might be quick games where they ended before it got flooded.
Yeah.
But again, yes, then suddenly boats will start being present on the ground. Again, there's still water on the ground.
There is still water,
but it's about knee high, I'd say. So
yeah. So at some point, the entire bottom will be flooded. Yeah. At which point, movement will be more difficult, and it presses players upwards.
Everything starts moving up to the rooftops.
Yeah, which is this entire like rooftop community, so where you can see very far. It's very, very difficult to stay alive on the rooftops for longer periods of time. So as you can see when we enter the rooftops here. So we do have already some people with us, but that is not because are we creating a private squad, or?
We can go ahead and do that, just in case, you never know. Yeah, we're just getting some first time leave squad here. Oh no, that's A to leave squad, that's it. I gotta get used to these buttons. So Y to create a squad, yeah, it's the same layout as, and then privacy, there we go. We've got a private squad going now. So we're open for business if anyone wants to join us.
Yeah, please do join us, Gamereactor Live on Xbox Live, and we'll be doing some squad-based action with you. And by the way, we all got a compliment for our beards. Sadly, with Dory's beard being the best. Yeah, That's.
We're trying to catch up.
We're trying to catch up. It's difficult. Dory, it's a project for Dory that's really going great. We're not as lucky. So, just to be clear, we have switched to Xbox One, and Xbox One is not available for retail in Scandinavia just yet. But you can import one, a German one, but it's without the voice commands for the Kinect, which is a big part of the console. But you can still do English.
So yes, it will still support English voice commands.
We'll still support English voice commands, so you can buy one if you are not too faffed with using English voice commands. So, but I still do think that this is more an American crowd.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So as you can see, as we emphasized before, that when the flood hits, it sort of pushes people up to this rooftop area where you're very vulnerable. You have some wooden sheds,
again,
which because of the destructible environments are your best chance of cover, and they get destroyed very quickly.
Yeah.
So as you can see also that despite Battlefield really being heavy on vehicles, this is not truly a vehicle-based map. At least when the players get pushed up to the rooftops, it sort of becomes difficult at least.
Yeah, this is one of the more kind of ground squad-based maps.
Almost team deathmatch-like in some cases. But it's good that they have several map types that supports different types of play. Now we saw the Siege of Shanghai, which is very much this conquest, vehicle-heavy game mode.
All right, so playing on the Xbox, so far I'm seeing it as pretty much on par with what the PS4 performance is doing. I mean, seems about the same.
Yeah, some rumors would suggest, I don't have any personal experience with both consoles, but some rumors suggest that most multi-platform titles have the better frame rate or the better visual muscle on the PlayStation 4 due to its larger amount of RAM or better amount of RAM.
Yes. Also, the whole 1080p versus 720.
Yes, of course. This is being constantly upscaled by the console itself. It sort of has this real-time performance upgrade, which is sort of can't really figure out how that works. But I think at least on Battlefield 4's case, looks very good.
Yeah.
No jitter in the frame rate or any of that stuff.
No, I mean, as far as I can tell right now, I'm not getting any real like sense of difference between the two. I mean, if you put them side by side, there might be.
Yeah.
But
it's
still,
not a noticeable difference.
There's no way I would say don't buy an Xbox One.
No.
From what I'm seeing here, I mean, graphics-wise.
So we're being asked, and which is a question which is very relevant, at least when we're new to the console. How does the controller feel?
Controller feels great. I mean, I'm playing it just fine, even though the sticks are kind of.
How are you getting on with the sticks? With the big major difference between the controllers now?
We have an Xbox One player joining us. Here we go.
Hello.
Dance with him.
Stua.
But yeah, no problems with the sticks at all. The one thing I will say just before, where I have to think a bit before I do it, is the D-pad is down there.
Is down there and not.
So I need to kind of go down to use the D-pad instead of up or left-ish to use the D-pad. Yeah. So that's a bit of a, and also the shoulder buttons, not the bumpers here, but the shoulder buttons are a bit closer, like up. So I actually feel like I have to move my hand a bit.
But that's also a difference between the Xbox 360 and Xbox One controller, that they sort of put it all.
It feels higher up, which is kind of, I need to move my hand a bit further up than I probably would on the PS4.
Oh, there we go. Oh no. Maybe if you want to, we can try maybe the engineer class.
Sure.
Maybe do something different, so we can showcase each class.
So sorry, Reviver there, but I'm going to pass on that, and I'm going to go in and choose another class. Yeah, again, I was playing Assault class there. Yeah. Just because that's the default one it starts you out with. So, yeah. All right, engineer. There we go.
So before we start,
should we check out the engineers gadgets here?
Yeah.
So again, primary weapons, you have
small SMG based with laser type scopes on it for short range combat.
Yeah, and gadget wise, you've got different variations of rocket launchers, some that lock on, some that don't, some that are more effective against aerial vehicles.
Yes.
Then you have a repair tool that does exactly what it suggests. It repairs vehicles. You have mines, and then you have the EOD bot, which some might remember from Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
Which is this remote-controlled bomb disposal unit.
Yeah, rolling over mines and clearing claymores and all that stuff.
Yeah, and also in the other game modes like Rush, where you have to arm bombs.
Right.
You can use it to go in and arm and disarm bombs.
Right.
I had a lot of fun with that in Battlefield 3 for sure.
Yes, very cool stuff in Battlefield 3.
And also in the field upgrades, we've got the same three as before: defensive, offensive, shadow. Then we have anti-tank set up, and we have mechanic set up. Basically, every class has kind of a dual function.
Yeah, so this is either being in the vehicle themselves or destroying vehicles.
Yeah, so killing vehicles or healing vehicles.
Yeah.
It's basically the two. And it's the same with the assault class. He's basically either a healer or a
damage dealer.
A grenadier.
Yeah.
Pretty much with the grenade launchers and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, every class does have this kind of two-sided thing.
Yeah. And as far as we're aware, they don't, at least for the expansion packs planned, they don't plan on adding more field upgrade types just yet. But you could, when more gear and gadgets are added to each class, you could, in theory, have more field upgrades that would fit more playstyles. But as of yet, you have this very dualistic way of seeing the class. Either you, for the assault, either you heal or you deal damage with grenades, or either you destroy tanks or heal them. It's very...
Yeah, so yeah, basically, even though each class can do a bit of both, if you want to be kind of an expert in one of them, you want one of those field upgrades that'll help you there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, you just got him. I think the first thing you're immediately, there's a guy over on your left. No, he's dead. Oh, there we go. See, very easy territory for the snipers here. They can lay up high on the highest buildings. And really
with the help of helicopter, they can get very high up, getting dropped up there. And that's where you really want that, what's it called, the commander, who can kind of help you spot those hard to get places. Which is where
we're playing currently without much sound, but at this point, the sound of the commander becomes really important, because he either via an NPC voice says there's vehicles west of your location, or there's a sniper spotted closely, or if he talks via a headset, really can help get communication rolling between the players and between the squads.
I'm going to set a little squad attack point over there, so we're both...
So that's still the right shoulder button, accepting...
Yeah, exactly.
Command orders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically the layout feels very familiar for a first-timer as myself. And again, the only thing is the location of the D-pad, and then also the...
Two.
Come on.
Oh, there you go. Oh no, there's two of them.
Should have thrown a grenade.
Yeah, but the thing about the engineer is that the shots in those small SMG rifles fly off very quickly, and you empty your mag very quickly.
Yeah, so definitely as a player, as myself, that I'm used to be playing support, which has, I mean, huge 200 mag. Shots in every clip, and reloading, basically keeping you out of combat for a good 20 seconds almost. Then it takes some getting used to. But again, every class does have its own very unique feel to it. Which I appreciate, because then really it allows you to, once it gets a bit stale, you can switch it up and you can really change the way you play
different, it. So to answer a question from Branko, what we were talking about earlier is that you had Battlefield Bad Company 2, which really, what the...
All right, here we go. Here's a glitch. This is interesting.
Here's a glitch. The wall is destroyed, but not really.
Oh, and can we jump through it?
Now it's gone.
We can jump through it. So, okay, it's not a huge glitch, but it's basically just a graffiti texture, which is still stuck. What
we're really looking for here, we had something with the wave engine earlier, but what we're really looking for here is stuff that could break your game.
Exactly.
And we haven't found any of it. But this is just to emphasize that we're playing this on the heels of two major patches, several gigabytes per patch, which was made on the basis of player feedback. Many game-breaking bugs that were reported very early in the days of the game after release, So we're just seeing if everything is as it should be.
Yeah.
So to answer a question from Branko, which we were talked about, there was Battlefield Bad Company 2, which really emphasized destruction of the environments. And then in Battlefield 3, a couple of years ago, this was very much dialed back in order to make this giant graphical overhaul on the consoles and on the PC. What we're experiencing now in Battlefield 4 is that this destruction is back. All walls, whether it's with a grenade or with a tank, is destructible somehow. So it's really cool to see that they can now, with the new consoles, combine graphical prowess and the destruction, which creates sort of a tactical, more tactical thinking. So you got revived there by a squad mate, it seems.
Yep, just doing a good job keeping us up. All right, so let's see. Have to keep on. This is a tall building we were talking about. We've got a chopper flying around there, so you might have just dropped some snipers off.
Might have, yeah.
Or he might be trying to right now.
We don't seem to have a very active commander.
We don't even have a present commander actually right now.
Oh, that's sad.
Again, you will find games if it's randoms like these where there won't be a commander, so it's just an open commander slot.
Yeah. Can anyone grab that commander slot? So if they go into their team base,
I mean, we could do it right now if you want to from the team menu.
All right.
Also, if you're experiencing a commander that's not doing their job properly, or you're just kind of not happy with their what they're providing, you can actually go in and vote against them. A commander earns a bit of points every minute or so that nobody's issued a complaint against them.
Yeah.
So they have kind of unanimous support. But if enough people kind of, depending on how many people are in the game, they'll show you like we need 5 people. They'll, if enough people vote against him, he'll be removed from the commander spot and it'll open up to someone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, if you're not satisfied with your commander, you can have him removed. Oh, here goes one of these fire.
Oh, that's particle effects. There's a guy just to your right.
Yeah. He got.
Oh, he got it. But that's in a squad order. So right now we have been tasked with defending point C, it seems.
That was my old squad order of attack, so we'll just stick on here.
Right.
Stay on here, but again, point C is quite important, and right now we're holding almost all of it.
Almost all maps are issued with a point which is sort of the basic point, like the central point of the game, which from there players can spawn and help take other points of the game. So there's always one point of interest that all players will be battling about. So you know where there will be action always.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we are really starting to enter the flood here. You almost have to swim now. Sort of goes
almost, yeah. It's quite high, the water here, at the water levels.
So as the map goes on, the water will get higher, and ultimately it will be very difficult. There's a tank up on your right. Maybe you can use your...
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I forget I'm an engineer. I'm just going to jump up here where I'm a bit more in cover. So here we got this little thing which can shoot, and it'll actually kind of home in on the enemy.
Automatically or...
We've got a dead controller. What wasn't supposed to happen did happen. 15 minutes
We did charge it for an hour.
Yeah.
Which is...
So we have a dead controller. So quick, let's figure it out. Should we just switch back to the PS4 then? I mean, we don't have much choice at this point.
I think it's better to switch back on PS4 because we obviously have more people playing there.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that Xbox One is not available.
So yeah, sorry to our one lone soldier joining us here.
Sorry to our...
But technical issues are dictating that we should switch back.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go down and do that. If you would check if there's any questions for us, or now's the time to ask for sure.
We do have a question again from Branko that what we would like to see being implemented in Battlefield 5, which I think is a very fair question actually. So one thing I would like to see is that we've had this basic loadout system in Battlefield for a long time, where you have your 4 separate classes ready for you. What I would like to see is more of those actually. I don't think it would ruin gameplay. I think it would make it more interesting to have different types of classes. What those would be, I don't know. And at this point, in order to really shake up what you understand about Battlefield multiplayer, this year around, of course, we had Levolution. You could do more of those by having the Levolution sort of have more of an impact on the map than just a tumbled building or a flood or something like that. And I know it sounds a bit stale to say just make more or make bigger. But in this case, in a multiplayer shooter, you can't really move too much around with the basics of the game without really changing the core of the experience. But maybe more classes, bigger Levolution stuff. And of course, I think people expect when the next Battlefield come out, it'll probably be a next-gen exclusive, maybe, if it arrives this year or next year. Maybe more graphical fidelity. I don't know. If you played the single-player at Battlefield 4, it looks gorgeous. It really does. It's very difficult to put a finger on that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're just about back in the game now. I'm just booting up the multiplayer. Also, I will say a thing I've noticed, and which was kind of, I was a bit annoyed with when it comes to the Battlefield 4, at least on the PS4. The load times are just a tad above what you want them to be.
Yeah.
But again, to our viewers, what I might suggest, which I have done, is investing in a new hard drive for the PS4.
Oh, right.
The PS4 allows you to switch out the hard drive with any kind of standard 2.5-inch hard drive, like a laptop hard drive.
Yeah.
And I even went as far as to go out and invest in a hybrid hard drive, which is half SSD, half normal. Yeah. And I actually managed to get the load times down to half on Battlefield 4.
Oh, right.
So I would very much suggest it. I mean, you can get a 1 terabyte hybrid drive for not a lot of money. No. I mean, it's not that bad. And I mean, for what you're getting a lot more storage capacity, and you're also getting a huge amount of...
and with the growing need of having the extra space for downloadable games, and something like Battlefield 4, for example, has, with the bug fixes and all, it does fill out quite a lot of space on your hard drive. So having that extra space might...
Exactly. I mean, the games are going somewhere between 40 and 60 gigs, it looks like. So, I mean, you can pretty much just do the math.
Yeah, 10 games, if you're lucky, for one hard drive before you have to switch things out. Of course, you can, ultimately with PlayStation Now, there is some streaming capabilities, but I think that players that buy a lot of games, buy a lot of digital games, will ultimately be looking at switching out the hard drive altogether anyway. So getting these load times down.
Yeah, and certainly Sony deserves kudos for allowing you to switch out the hard drive the way, as simply as you could with the PS3. I would even say even simpler.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into details, but check out a YouTube video. It is as simple as it gets.
Yeah. So also, one thing that it seems to be present in the comments about having what could be changed for Battlefield 5 is ultimately people want the co-op missions back. And I haven't had too much, wow.
Yeah, so that was a bit of...
judder there. But people seem to really like the, you and a couple of squad mates against AI enemies, either vehicle-based or on foot. There are some stealth missions as well, I've seen, which seems like fun. Not entirely what I would really like out of a Battlefield experience, but if people want it back, I hope it's more of a fleshed-out experience. Now you're gonna die.
Take him with me.
Yeah.
Again, just following orders. My commander told me to go there. I go there.
So, so let's talk a very quick bit about what you thought about the single player, because it's also a very big part of the bugs and glitches were also about the save games and about AI issues with the single player mode of the games. What did you think?
I was happy with the single player, actually. I finished it last night.
Yes.
And I had a lot of fun with it. And I thought it wasn't very long, but it wasn't too short either. It was like nicely 4
or 5 hours, maybe if you hurry.
Yeah. And I mean, again, some games I might feel a bit cheated for a story that short.
Yeah.
But for a game like Battlefield, where the main emphasis is on
action,
the multiplayer and again the single-player campaign is almost kind of like the bonus content, like multiplayer usually is for some other games. So I really felt like it was a good, it was a decent story. It was kind of cheesy at times.
Yeah, it was cheesy at times, and it never gets too complex for its own good, you could say. But I don't understand the people that fault it and say that it drags the main experience down. I don't think so at all. I actually think that it's sort of, at least in a gameplay sense, emphasizes what Battlefield 4 wanted to change, which was bigger areas, more freedom, control the same character so that you may build a relationship with your squad, and you do with characters like Irish and Hannah, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah.
And it actually, apart from very short sequences, it never forces you into an aircraft that you don't want to enter, having those long vehicle missions, which never really... You always have the freedom to go on foot, which I thought was really nice. And yes, it is on the short side, and it does get cheesy. And what maybe players would want for a sequel is that your decisions have an impact. Now, there is an ending in Battlefield 4 where you have to make a decision without spoiling too much, but maybe having decisions running through the experience might garner some fan support.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to ask you as well about the ending, how you thought of it, because again, there are the different kinds of endings, but did you feel that any of the endings really had any impact on how the game had progressed? I mean... No
impact at all.
I mean, the different endings come from one decision towards the very end. There's three different
choices.
And you can basically see all three by just playing through the last mission, and nothing that's happened earlier in the game really affects this.
No.
Which is kind of sad, because it would have been nice to actually see some kind of decisions during the game actually affect how the game turns out.
I guess what you would want is that you would actually want some coherence in the experience, that if you want to have choices and you want the player to have an impact on the story, then you have to do it all the way through, and you have to tailor the experience to the player.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't do it at all. Like, for example, in The Last of Us, where there is no player choice.
Now, again, like it feels kind of tacked on this whole, and there's three different endings, which makes it sound very much like a...
It is a bit of tacked on. I mean, I always like having sort of the choice to put my print on an experience which I've enjoyed, but I think in Battlefield, you either have to step it up or leave it alone.
Yeah.
So now you've put out an order.
Yeah, that's the old order from my commander. I just asked him if he wants me to do anything else, but see, we got Mad Cat's back in the squad here. So.
Oh, nice. Oh, you can get him. Yeah, there we go.
Again, that's really what I really enjoy about Battlefield 2, that there are some kind of long-range shootouts happening where we kind of have a bit of a back and forth, whereas in Call of Duty, it's very much like, boom, you're dead.
Yeah,
that's
it's very twitchy.
First one to hit the trigger wins.
Yeah.
Whereas this one here can actually kind of turn out a bit differently depending on which weapon the other guy has. And, and sometimes you even have the two squads kind of lying, shooting over a hilltop.
But I think Call of Duty just very much goes after the sort of the template that Counter-Strike have created. Very twitchy, very reaction-based.
Yeah.
You sort of run around this very small maze, and whoever sort of gets the drop on you is the winner. Whereas this is more about a collected experience of vehicles, sound, and now you're going to get dog tags. Yes.
All right, and once I've done this, I'm going to see if I can pull off the Levolution in this map here, because...
I've never seen the Levolution in this map.
It's to do with the sea area, again, the very central point of the map.
Yeah.
And again, it takes a bit of know-how to actually activate it. So actually dying here was fine, because I need to go somewhere else and spawn. All right, it's being captured by the enemy. We'll see if I can...
So after you pull off the Levolution trick, I think we'll switch controller and tablet.
Yep.
And I will show off the last class we haven't touched upon, which is the Recon class, which we don't know whether it would be entertaining enough, because it's very slow and very methodic to play the Recon class. We'll see. We have Mad Cats with us.
He noticed what I'm doing here. So you go on down to this little area here on the street, main street, and you go to this pipe here, and you push the button. You increase the pressure. You can see now it's increased a bit. There's another pipe that needs to be activated. Basically, you kind of overload these pipes.
Oh, right.
And the other pipe, oh, we got an order there. We're just going to accept it just for the sake of accepting it, so our commander likes us.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, see, that chopper there is really good. Okay, but again, good enough for us, because then we can probably get quicker over to the other one, because that's the exact opposite end of the street on the other side of C. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab a quad bike, and we're going to try and see if we can zoom around the enemy.
Yeah, get behind enemy lines.
See if they...
It's clever.
We can pull this off without them noticing us. I just need to get my bearings. All right, we're going that way.
So do you enjoy when when you do vehicles? I know it's not as accurate, but do you like playing in third person when on a vehicle?
Definitely when I'm on the quad bike.
Yeah.
Just for moving around and stuff, I get
Yeah.
a better sense of what's around me and kind of turning. Because in first person, the quad bike especially can get out of control quite easily.
All right, tank after you.
Yeah, I need to watch out here, and I think I jumped off my quad bike a bit too quickly. I think I need to go for the back. Oh, there's a dude on a quad bike.
Good job.
Grand Theft Auto.
Very Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, if you'll, I see. I'm seeing a glitch here now. I can't actually get on the vehicle, and I got shot.
Just because of that. Oh,
yeah.
That's sad. So it was kind of there that you had to go to the second pipe and increase the pressure.
There's 2 pipes, and you increase the pressure on both of them, and then it builds up, and yeah, from there you can. So
that would lead one to believe that in this map, the Levolution aspect of it is entirely player controlled.
Yeah.
Because at least in the Siege of Shanghai, at one time when one of the losing team's tickets will get to a point, the building will fall. It will always fall because it has such a tactical impact on the control point of Charlie. But this seems
this one here is completely player controlled. And again, the enemy can deactivate it because they have a thing down their end, so it's in their best interest to keep C up. Ouch.
He just laid out anti-tank mines.
Well, I don't know if we should switch it up.
Yeah, maybe.
You can try and go for it.
Yeah, guide me there. Here you go.
Basically, you need to go kind of near B if you look at the map. And
near
just kind of east of B, you have this kind of...
maybe I can spawn in the vehicle. There's no vehicle.
Still,
I'm going to spawn on... So now I'm recon, as you can see.
Yeah. And this guy just did...
A kamikaze.
Yeah. This is kind of a cheap move, but also a very valid one. I mean, attach...
it's part of the game.
Yeah, attach mines to your vehicle, your quad bike, and just ram enemy vehicles. All right, you just got a squad order bonus because Mad Cat's... Oh, nice one.
I'm just going to grab his dog tags here.
Again, what you'll notice is some of the dog tags, they'll be black, and those are the dog tags of premium members.
Oh, right.
And the whole premium system, to explain, is basically just kind of like how you know it as season passes from other games.
Yeah.
It basically gives you access to all the DLC or a set amount of DLC for a season. I don't know if that's how premium works, but that's usually how it works.
Yeah.
So again, China Rising that came out, premium members got free access to it, or at least, yeah, they paid for premium, then they get access to it. And they get a week early access to it as well, I believe. See, this might be a good idea because I think you might be able to jump and parachute in from the ceiling.
That was what I thought.
From the roof.
Yeah, and I was on the run from some dudes. Right, so and this has to be a good sniper position, I presume.
Yeah.
So
but if you
I'm
look
overlooking
down,
B.
All right, so if you look a bit to the left, there's a bus parked. It's a bit further down. If you look a bit further to the left, there should be kind of a hole. It's in the middle there. You can actually see it right there. If you zoom in again.
There we are.
There, that's the one you want to go for.
So we're going to try and do this.
All right. Oh, Mad Cat's is with you. So both of you guys go for that.
I'm going straight for it. There's a tank, so
we're not out of the... If you get down there, you're kind of safe. All right, so activate this one. Now you can see it's giving you a warning. You want to get away from this pipe because this one's going to blow too. You might want to get it into a better position to kind of watch the center of the street because it's going to go...
No! Oh. No! Oh, 2-pack the god. I'm going to get you for that. So now we've increased the pressure on both.
Yeah, and I think in a second or so, I don't know if you'll get to see it. Oh, you own C now, but if you go to C...
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, it's actually going... Yeah, and deploy point lost.
Nice.
So it blows up from both ends towards C in the middle. So the whole middle of the map has a big trench in it now. Which is kind of cool. So more fighting areas, more possibilities. And obviously our timing was so great that it was just when we started owning C that we blew it up. But
which is sad, but they... So at the moment, I'm gonna see if I can't hit that guy. I accidentally jumped out. Maybe I can get inside. I can't.
I think you might be, yeah, you're gonna run out of the...
3, 2, 1, there we go. And my sniper rifle flies. So maybe this is a good time to showcase the last piece of the gadgets and field upgrade scores for the last class, which is Recon. So we're going to go quickly into, as you can see here, that is the laser designator. As you did before, you do spotting. And
I do feel in this game it's a lot more used because a lot more rocket launchers will lock onto this.
Yes.
So being a spotter is actually a very viable way of making points.
Very viable, yeah. And in this case, you have one of the gadgets that are available to all classes, the C for explosive. But what we can do here is we can throw motion sensors, a grenade which you activate and throw, and it will reports movement of enemy movement in your area.
A familiar gadget from Bad Company 2 players.
From Bad Company 2. Put one, if you're on the second floor of a house, put it on the ground floor, and it will tell you if players are sneaking up behind you, for example. You have the radio beacon, which is a spawn beacon. Very, very normal for recon players to have. Put it where the action is at, and then your squad mates can quickly get into the field of battle.
Yeah.
So you have the tugs, which I think detects movement from vehicles, perhaps?
No, this one actually is also just a motion sensor. The difference between the motion sensor by name and this one is a placed item that will stay.
Oh, right.
Whereas the motion sensor is a grenade that you throw and will, what's it called? It will run out after, I think, about 20 seconds or 10.
Yeah. So this is what we were talking about with vehicles, the SOFLAM, which you will designate enemy vehicles with the SOFLAM, and your squad mates or your teammates, the engineers on that team, can automatically lock on to that vehicle with their rocket launchers.
And also other vehicles that have any kind of homing ability, and it's a great thing because they can actually be across the map.
Yeah.
And it looks looks like a lot of fun, but it's basically the missile, if you shoot out as an engineer, goes straight up in the air, and it lands straight on top at the weakest point of the tank or whatever you're targeting.
Yeah, so it's very useful.
So again, there's kind of two versions of the same thing. The SOFLAM is kind of a camera that you put down, and you can remote control from safety, whereas the PLD is a kind of pair of binoculars
manual,
that you use. So you're kind of, whenever you lock onto someone or something, it gives you away. It gives your area away. So the SOFLAM is definitely more safe to use. Put it on a hilltop, put yourself in a building somewhere, and just use it.
But then again, if you have placed your SOFLAM, then if you're suddenly a different place on the map, the PLD is something you can carry with you at all times. So the SOFLAM is sort of...
Oh, and the SOFLAM is also passive. So if you're not actually using it, if it's looking in a direction and a vehicle moves into the area, it will actually tag it. Yeah. So, and the MAV, I have a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, it's a little air vehicle you can use to remotely fly behind enemy, and you can just spot things there.
Spotting things, and also it has a little bit of a gun on it. Yeah. That can it can lock onto radio beacons and other kind of deployable equipment. It can also be used to blow up enemy mines. Yeah. So if the enemy have set up some mines on the road, you can see them quite easily through this infrared camera that it has. You can pop those. You can even kill enemy tanks while they roll them. I've got a couple going. So you can really harass the enemy using this thing. Yeah.
So we have the Claymore, which we've already discussed, and you have the SUAV, which is the same thing as the little control plane you get with China Rising expansion pack. So you can also laser designate enemies as you would with the SOFLAM or the PLD, but it's flying across the combat zone, sort of patrolling.
And again, the unlock criteria here is safe rating, which is kind of a medal that you earn. Yeah. And the same goes for the other UAV. So basically, once you buy China Rising, you don't automatically get it. You need to kind of do a couple of things. It will give you the requirements for it.
So for the field upgrades, you have your defensive, offensive, and shadow, as we've seen before. But the two that is specific for the sniper is the Spec Ops. This is sort of stealth and spotting. You know, you will be undetected by motion sensors. You have better C4 explosive. Your motion sensors is more accurate, and you can unspot things again.
Yeah, and also, and again, the Spec Ops character might be more of a submachine gun user rather than a sniper rifle.
And this is very much in the word, the sniper. It's better to hold your breath. You can hold your breath by clicking the analog stick, and it will stop the judder, so you can quickly pop a headshot. Better from cover. You won't be suppressed as much. So it's kind of like, submachine gun, motion sensor and spotting, and sniper rifle. So again, the two like main ways to play the character. Yeah. So we're gonna hop in here with Mad Cats again. He seems to get a hold of a, and we're already going down. Oh, Mad Cats, bad flying from your part, and we have lost. So should we do another map? Do you have time?
Well, yeah, we have about 20 minutes to go, so we have enough time. I don't know if the viewers have any kind of preference.
Yeah, now it's time.
Yeah, maybe just give it 1 minute or so. Actually, if you just go ahead and quit here, Because then we can just, while our viewers are trying to figure out what we should play, just give them a quick run through of the different modes.
So we have to say again that Conquest is by far the most popular multiplayer mode, and because of this, because of the server stuff that's been going on, it is also by far the mode which has been plagued mostly by these bugs.
Yeah.
So you have the team deathmatch mode, which, very basic. Yeah. Obliteration, which was added in Bad Company 2, I believe, via a paid-for patch, an expansion pack, but now comes as standard, where you fight over possession of a bomb that you need to put at an objective and blow.
So it feels kind of Call of Duty-ish.
Very Call of Duty-ish.
But yeah, with respawns.
Yeah. And then you have the other, like, what is considered like the main Battlefield mode, which is sort of weird that it's sort of buried down beneath Team Deathmatch.
Which got introduced in the first Bad Company, as far as I remember.
Yes.
Which did not, interesting enough, have Conquest from the beginning.
Did not have Conquest.
They had to add that later. So they were trying to make this the
main,
new thing, which didn't really catch on. People wanted Conquest, and they brought it back.
Yeah. So, but Rush is still a main part of the Battlefield multiplayer experience, and you just have two sort of boxes that you have to blow up by putting charges on it. So at some point, one team will be the defenders and one will be the attackers. It's a lot more action-based, where the action is sort of forced to a single point.
It's focused, in an area.
Where Conquest will sort of be spread out across the map, which I think is why they put Conquest first, is because that with the large areas, they want to showcase the entire map, not just the two boxes.
Where all the vehicles can kind of...
Squad deathmatch, same as team deathmatch, but it's very emphasizes squad play, clan play.
5v5 kind of thing.
Yeah. And mostly popular among clan players.
Oh, actually, no, here we go. It actually tells you it's your squad fights 3 other squads.
Yeah.
So it might be a bit more of an all-round, like it's 4 squads, free for all versus each other.
Yeah. So it's not just you who becomes the most important player. No. Your squad becomes the most important player, and you don't have 2 teams. You have several teams which have to work together. So this is the one you want to join with your friends if you're sitting together, for example, because this is where team play is emphasized the most. Yeah. Or is most vital. You have domination. Very close quarters, in the same sense that Team Deathmatch is, which just has no vehicle combat. Yeah,
so basically it's like Conquest, but just smaller, vehicles.
Yeah. I've never tried this. This is Diffuse. Infantry combat again, where you can't respawn with no vehicles. So very quick rounds. Yeah. You might know this from this.
Defenders with 1 bomb and 2 objectives.
This is Counter-Strike, it seems.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this is a new one. Which is just air warfare. Have you tried this?
I have not, no, because I'm not a great jet.
I am neither. But I guess you can, there is a tutorial available, and I'm guessing that helicopters will be a part of it. I don't know.
Perhaps.
And then you're straight capture the flag mode. Yeah. So do we have any, maybe we could try rush mode. That's at least...
Yeah, so far we're not really in the chat on the IRC getting any suggestions, so I should, just go ahead and do a rush. I mean, that's another big mode.
And great for the recon class, because I can lay from a distance and snipe whatever player comes and tries to...
oh, here we go. Sometimes...
Oh, here we go. So we might have detected, because it can't be right that there's, on the PS4, that there's no servers.
No servers. Try I don't know, maybe finding manually, because it does have a server browser, but that also has issues, actually.
Oh, right. So
but you can pretty much press R3, the right analog stick, and you can filter it, so rush.
Yeah, but that's the only, I think, filter we want.
Well, try and go back, because I think if you haven't marked any maps...
So here is a dice-controlled rush mode.
I think all the what's it called, servers so far are dice controlled. I don't think they've opened up for the rented service just yet. With the issues that the game is having, I think they're scared of charging money for servers that might not work properly.
Indeed. So we should also say that while DICE have been making Battlefield games for a long, long time, there's never been this many bugs and glitches for a launch of a Battlefield game. Very unlikely from DICE.
I think it's a case of getting the game out of the door along with the new consoles.
Along with the launch,
and they got rushed. And I mean, I don't think any of those guys were happy releasing the game in its state.
I think I have not been in the industry long enough to experience multiple console launches like this, where there's been this much sort of emphasis on the online infrastructure. But I'm thinking that for games that has to be rushed to meet a console release date, this is a normal phenomenon. But it has been like very, it's been very special for Battlefield.
Yeah.
We don't see the same for example, the co-op mode of Rise, or in Killzone Shadowfall's online multiplayer, stuff like that.
But again, I think also what makes this kind of console launch with this time around kind of special is the whole fact that we have these really big games at launch. I mean, big franchises launching with it.
Yeah.
So, and again, these annualized franchises, almost like Call of Duty and so on. I mean, it's really like, I thinking back at the launch of the PlayStation 3, it took a good while before there was a solid, I mean, when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, that's when I first was, all right, this is it. This is what PS3 is all about, first-person shooter-wise. But that took a good while before that game actually came out.
So we are here trying to showcase the Recon class. You could say that the first 3 classes we've showcased all have that in common, that they carry an assault rifle and has to, at least to some degree, get in close in order to get the kills. Whereas what I'm playing now, the Recon class, has to sit back and sort of control the action from afar. And I'm trying to get a hit in here. They're moving, which is annoying.
And again, Battlefield is very notorious for its Recon class being realistic in the sense that there's a bullet drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to. I mean, I think I just got suppressed there. So there has to be at least some. So there.
You see, saved by a little,
it is. Yeah, it is. It is difficult to sort of wrap your head around the Recon class at first, because with your first sniper rifle, at least I'm thinking both in Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, there was a hardcore mode where you had less HP available to you. So one sniper bullet was mostly enough if you hit them in the torso.
There is also a present hardcore mode. You can only join it by doing a manual search for servers. You can put that as one of your...
So while it's normal game mode, in this very normal rush mode, it's not enough hitting them in the torso, mostly. At least with the first sniper rifle. You do get better sniper rifle eventually, but you have to level up somehow. So you have to sort of get your headshots and sort of wait for the better sniper rifles to be available to you. Yeah. So as
there is also the possibility of just actually equipping another type of weapon than a sniper rifle. Again, playing more Recon class than a sniper. That's also an option until you start unlocking... Until you've leveled the class up enough to unlock the cooler guns.
Yeah, indeed. So.
But it all depends on kind of your playstyle, if you want to be a sniper or if you want to... Oh, nice one.
See, there we got him. And I wiped the squad as well. So what I can try doing here is I do have C4.
See this guy.
See if I can get in close enough without him noticing.
He's quite occupied by that other thing.
But I'm right in his field of view, so... He's backing off, so I'm gonna run in here.
Maybe you can grab that missile launcher thing there and shoot him with it. Oh no, he went around the corner, he's gone. Again, this launcher here will... Oh, there you go.
No!
Oh no!
Oh, so close.
Must have looked kind of cool to him though.
It was, yeah.
Sorry about that, Branko. We didn't see your vote for playing Obliteration in time. Well, at least you voted just a second too late. We'd already started playing.
So as you can see here in Rush, they have taken the box named A away from us, and we only have the B one left. Yeah. As you can see in the bottom left corner, the enemy has a limited amount of tickets to respawn in order to destroy our last box. Then 2 more will spawn, and they will have all their tickets renewed. And so the game sort of continues on. Yeah.
So they're slowly pushing you back, and your objective is to kill them as many of them as possible. Their objective is to stay alive and take out these boxes.
See, you see, I hit them straight in the shoulder and no death. So that is sort of, I think, the life of the...
Oh, there you go. C4 should be... Oh, I think he's coming there. Again,
I'm not gonna hit him.
The green light that he had on right there is a because every vehicle also has its own kind of little bonuses, and that's kind of an anti-missile system.
Oh, right.
Kind of like the one that I could place as a support character.
Yeah.
Just attached to the tank. So when that green light is lit, no missile incoming will hit him, but it will only count for 1 or 2 missiles if they come right at the same time. So it's very limited time, active, long recharge on it.
But it is smart when you're really in the thick of it and you want your tank to survive just a second longer for you to
or be able to get away, or if you know that your next hit's going to hit him and you just want to like get that hit in there.
I just got hammered there. I think at least you did in Battlefield Bad Company 2 with the larger maps. It was difficult in Battlefield 3, but in Battlefield Bad Company 2, what was really important was finding a vantage point as a sniper.
Yeah.
Really going in sort of combat style is not the way to go. So I'm going to try and do that here.
Yeah, definitely. It's and I've actually had snipers sitting on top of the dam up there, which is going down now, it looks like.
I'm giving you a first person.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Somebody destroyed the dam.
Oh, dear God.
Get a good view of that. Or actually, I think it might be a case of the enemy team destroying your... No, B's still up. Never mind.
Yeah.
And I don't see the water here, but in Conquest mode at least, there'll be water shooting down the middle and out into this little lake that's present. Oh yeah, see there you got somebody targeting that thing over there. So
we're going to try and...
So yeah, basically, whenever you see that kind of square, you can lock onto it with most lock on.
Oh yeah. So we're not... Maybe sitting here is not the worst of ideas. You actually, if you really want to be smart, you need to have like a clear view. Oh wait, I'm gonna try this now.
Franco is making fun of us helping the opposing team to level up, I see.
Oh, thank you.
And that we're being too generous.
Yeah. I think he's right over there. So if we get a viewpoint. See this? See, we have enemy soldiers over there, but...
Oh, by the way, once you've taken your shot, did you remember to set up a squad?
No, I don't have a private squad off right now, but I can do that.
Because I was just thinking that there's nobody joining us, and that might be why. They might be in the game, but they're not. So just triangle to create the squad, and then
toggle the privacy.
Yeah, okay.
Here we go. So join us on Gamereactor Live for the last
And if any of you guys are already in the game, you can go and switch over to our squad.
Yeah. What we're trying to do, at least with... well, you can discuss the amount of success we've had, but is showcasing the Recon class, the last class we haven't touched upon in the game.
Which is, I would take it for both of us, the least played class.
Least played class, by far.
I mean, there are some people that love playing sniper, and I get that. So
it has a cult following.
And there are some very deadly Recon players in this game. So it's not a bad class as such, it's just that the two of us aren't too familiar with it.
And by far the class that separates itself from the rest of the game.
Yeah.
With its very like methodical, slow building action. Whereas very, very easy to wrap your head around. Oh wait, let's see if we can do something here. Oh, he's way too jittery. So we do have a bipod.
Yeah, so that will help stabilize whenever you take the shot.
Oh, he died. I was ready. Mad Cats is down there. We're trying to give him some support. See, there is action happening up here. It's
yeah, it is inside the building, so...
Oh, wait.
But so far, I mean, we've played the game pretty much for 2 hours now. 50 minutes on the Xbox One and the rest of the time on PS4. We haven't had any kind of game-breaking glitch happen.
Not really. I mean, there hasn't been anything that has sort of kept us from playing the game properly.
No.
Which
I mean, we had one disconnect that might have been our own fault otherwise.
See, I got him straight there. And he didn't die. And so... And what you unlock later as a Recon class is you don't have to zoom out in order to reload your rifle. You can only have one shot in and once. It's not semi-automatic. So you have to reload and then you have to zoom out, which makes it difficult to retarget the enemy. It's very specific, this, and it's very as
So
far as
that's been part of Battlefield for a
Yeah,
while too.
very,
the whole
very,
part of
yeah.
the realism of.
yeah, you can't just auto fire with
I
the
mean,
sniper rifle.
that's been a part of Battlefield since 1943, not
Yeah.
the year, but the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's not that old.
Yeah, no, luckily. But that Battlefield 1943 sort of cemented its reputation as this giant. See, we have a couple of players here dropping down, air dropping down. So there we have him, but he probably won't look this way.
Right.
This is a good position, just not much happening. So I think what you really need to do if you want to play Battlefield as a recon player is patience.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the way snipers work in real life too. I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta
there is patience,
be prepared to sit there and.
Oh, wow. And we lost our field upgrade score. He does have a chopper, so maybe for the last 10 minutes we should just try to go maybe the support class and just drop into the fray and see if we can do some damage.
And yeah, we're closer to having 4 minutes left. So also, if there's any impressions that you want to give or anything,
yeah,
I think now's the time. And also, you guys watching, be sure to ask us your questions now if you have any. We'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, please do. And if you want to jump in with the last piece of online gameplay we have here for you, it's Gamereactor Live on PS4.
Yep.
And I think the conclusion we can easily reach is that Battlefield 4 does not, at least on the PlayStation 4, our time with it on Xbox One was very limited, is not broken.
No.
At least from our perspective. Not broken.
So far we haven't had any broken gameplay.
However, small glitches, which is of course to be expected, but now the game has been out since late October, start November, at least in the States. So having these a little annoying gameplay glitches is to be expected, but of course needs to be fixed at some point. But so far, at least from what we've played, the game is very playable and very fixed. And of course, people can still have problems, but it doesn't seem to be all that normal for players to be disconnected.
No, we haven't had any issues there for sure.
So you can see our mighty last place with 1 kill and 8 deaths and a mighty score of 250.
Yeah,
I think
that looks like my recon score as well.
Yeah, I can't do recon. It's too specific. So I don't think. Well,
I think we're out of time, playtime wise.
Yeah. So we would please do give us your feedback, and maybe we'll try this again at some point on the Xbox One if the controller allows it.
Yeah, we do apologize for not being able to give you guys a better idea of the Xbox One's performance, but again, technical issues. I don't know.
But from what from the brief moment we saw, at least the myth that it's very different on Xbox One, not true. Frame rate is just as stable as the PS4, and it looks gorgeous on both platforms. Yeah,
like from first glance, I mean, it seemed like a very serviceable. I didn't see the whole talk about the 720 versus 1080p.
Very sort of weird technical discussion to have, but at least in the most practical sense, you don't notice the difference. Now we went back and forth from 2 platforms, and a very strong multiplayer game. I think it's very good, and I think the most of the complaints there is to the single player is not unjustified, but I really, really liked both the single player and the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we're out of time here.
Yeah.
But we should say tune in tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's another live stream going up for GR Friday nights.
Yeah.
I believe there's going to be some Call of Duty Ghosts gameplay going on.
Yes.
And details that are not quite clear to me yet, but it's a PS3 version.
PS3 version.
Great.
Is being
so for those of you watching that are PS3 owners, join tomorrow, and you'll be able to join in on some some Call of Duty Ghosts action. Thank you so much for following us here. The Battlefield 4 works great, and I hope you've enjoyed following us getting slaughtered for these 2 hours. Thank you. Yes, thank you guys.